Hey guys, it's me, Gluten-Free Brownie, and welcome back to the channel. It's been a while since I've sat in front of my camera and talked to myself for a while, but here we are. So I've been wanting to make videos like this again for a while, especially because my audio is still struggling. It's not working, and I've been like experimenting with the sounds, and you probably heard it on a couple of other videos that I was doing this experimenting thing, but yeah. So far, my hypothesis is that my laptop just sucks. But my sister left her computer here, and I kind of want to work with that. She says it's slow, and it is slow. I've tested it out. But yeah, I'd hope to work with that and see if I can get it to do recordings for videos there. And maybe I'll have a better experience, and maybe I'll actually be able to get like better everything. So yeah, it's funny because like I love making videos. I love being I had a friend, I don't like to brag, I had a friend tell me I have good camera presence, and it's because I actually weirdly kind of like being on camera. Yeah, so yeah, today I'm a little flustered, I guess. Today I'm making this video about my favorite YouTubers. So I was looking, I guess Jacksepticeye has 2 channels now because this happened on his Spadicy channel. And I've just been like really happy for him and like how far he's come, the fact that he's like he's got his autism diagnosis, and I just felt really good for him. Like I was happy for him. That's the word I'm looking for. I was really happy for him, and I thought like it's just a great feeling when you can put a name to something that you might have been struggling with for so long. And so he talked about some of his favorite YouTubers, and I really like how he did it. He did a lot of like smaller channels, which I think is really great. So I didn't make a category for that. But before we get into it, just wanted to like remind you guys, like, I am also autistic, so I'm really bad at looking at the camera. I'm doing my best, but I don't want to like force eye contact because that'll make it worse. So you might notice like I look around a lot. Apparently, and I've had people like complain to me about that before, and I was like, I don't know why I can't just look at something. Turns out it was the autism, and I'm sitting kind of weird because I'm doing this on my iPad. Let's face it, I'm just a self-conscious goofball. But you know what helps? Chocolate milk. So we're doing this video completely unmasking. I don't have any. Yes, I do. Hang on. Haha! I was gonna say I don't have any stim toys, but I have a squishy mushroom. I'm gonna hold it like this. So yeah, we got everything now. We're all set to go. And you may notice I'm also looking down here a lot, not just because that's where my chocolate milk is, but it's also because I took notes, because I have to take notes, because I have some ADHD symptoms, okay? So yeah, I watched Jack's video on his favorite 2 YouTubers, and he indirectly called me out, so I was like, I'll do it. So yeah, first I wanted to share a story about my experience on YouTube. Basically it started, I guess you could say it started in middle school when I was allowed to use the internet, and YouTube was mostly like, I think they're called AMVs, but I was a huge like Warrior Cats fan. I still am, but not as much as when I was a preteen, and I was obsessed with Warriors. So I would look up like videos that people made, and they would put like fan art with music, and sometimes the music would like match up with like the characters' stories, and and this is why Taylor Swift is so successful. When she writes songs, they're relatable. So a lot of people were like relating her songs to stories about warrior cats. So it started in middle school. Also, side rant, I just remembered I was going to talk about this. Yesterday, I'm recording this on March 21st, which is actually Slytherin Pride Day, but yesterday was Hufflepuff Pride Day, so I'm wearing my Hufflepuff shirt. But I am wearing like Slytherin makeup for my Slytherin friends, because you might have heard the stereotype. Slytherins and Hufflepuffs get along really well. And it's like they find me. Like, most of my friends, like, most of the time, they're Slytherins or Ravenclaws. No Gryffindors for some reason. Don't know what that's about. it's either Slytherin or Ravenclaw. Mostly Slytherins. And again, the Slytherins, they find me. They can sense that I'm a Hufflepuff, and they're like, ah, she's the perfect ally. I'm just like, hey guys, do you want to talk about Lord of the Rings and drink chocolate milk together? So, anyways, just wanted to put that out there. Also, disclaimer, I don't agree with the things that J.K. Rowling has been saying. I'm separating the art from the artist. I have a problem. I'm obsessed with Harry Potter. I have an addiction. Like, they teamed up with American Girl, and I bought like all the uniforms and the Quidditch uniforms. I have a problem, okay? But anyways, back to my story about YouTube. So yeah, I started in middle school. I was obsessed with warrior cats, watched a lot of really funny, silly memes on YouTube. Eventually I got to finding Miranda Sings, which at the time I didn't know what was going on behind the scenes, and I'm sure none of us really knew what was going on behind the scenes. And I feel like that's a video for another day if you want me to like share my feelings on the whole situation. I don't know why anyone would want to hear my opinion on it because it's gonna match everyone else's. But again, that's besides the point. And then before I went on my mission, and that's another video I need to talk to y'all about because stuff. But yeah, before my mission, I got really just into listening to music in general, and YouTube was a great resource for me to like listen to free music, even if I had to like listen to ads in between the songs. Like, it wasn't that much of a bother, so I ended up listening to like a bunch of music. And I also went through like a phase, I think it's called mem, where like they I think it was the same guys, but they made, hang on one second. Okay, my dad's texting. I'm doing this on my iPad. But they were the guys who made the do you want to see how animals eat their food video, which was always hilarious. So YouTube, you could say, has been a huge part of my life ever since I was 12 maybe. Yeah, I want to say 12. So since I was allowed to go on the internet. So yeah, that was kind of like my start with YouTube, but the best things didn't start happening until I came home from California, and I had a close friend of mine recommend Daz Black, and that's what I call the snowball that got rolling into an avalanche. Is that what it's called? Is that how the saying goes? It's the butterfly effect. It's the thing that started it all. So, so to share about my favorite YouTubers, well, first of all, it did start with Daz Black, and then it ended up going into Markiplier because I wanted to get more of the lore of Sister Location, because I think Sister Location had just come out. So I watched Daz play it, and it wasn't really his cup of tea, so he was like, I don't know if I'm going to keep playing this. But Markiplier, Mr. Completionist over there, is like, oh, I'm going to get the whole story. And I'm like, yeah, that's what I want. And then it rolled into Jacksepticeye, and then it rolled into, speaking of which, I need to write that down. But yeah, it rolled into Jacksepticeye, PewDiePie, Cinnamon Toast Ken, all these other gamers. I need to make a note. This is what happens when I don't fully plan my videos. I was just so excited to record, guys. Like, that's just it. So yeah, I have them all separated into different categories, with some honorable mentions, of course. But I decided my all-time favorite YouTuber, my favorite guy YouTuber, my favorite girl YouTuber, my favorite duo, my favorite doll tuber, or AG-tuber, I think is the correct term, and my favorite group. So, to start off, with my all-time favorite YouTuber, you probably guessed it by now, is Daz Black. And it really is because he's the one who started it all. Basically, I got home from California and it was my friend who recommended it. I watched his videos and I watched a bunch of his videos and I just thought he was really hilarious. But then the more I took a deep dive into the channel, I just noticed some things about Daz that I really liked. I always liked him as a person. I think he's funny. He's a really good comedian, in my humble opinion, because what do I know about comedy, to be honest? I just noticed things that he would say about being a YouTuber. He would always say, and he would still say this, I think, that he enjoys editing. So he does his own editing. I could use an editor because I've dabbled in editing a little bit. I think I just need more practice. But yeah, Daz, he is just really, like, you can tell he enjoys what he does. And I remember thinking, like, man, that looks like a lot of fun. Like, and I remembered, like, sometimes, like, even when I got my first phone, I would make random videos on it. And then I wouldn't do anything with them. I just would make really weird random videos. And seeing Daz being able to do what he does, I was like, man, that looks like fun. I kind of want to do that too. So yeah, and that's how it all started. I started thinking to myself, like, man, I kind of want to start making YouTube videos. And then after a while, I was learning more about my own mental health. I didn't know I was autistic yet. We didn't throw that. Actually, I think we did start throwing it up in the air, thinking, like, maybe there is something there. Maybe she does have autism. We don't know yet. But I was talking to a therapist about my anxiety, and I was like, I really want to start a YouTube channel. And he asked me why, and I said, it's because it's a coping tool that I've used for my anxiety. Obviously, again, going back to Daz Black, he would say things like he was happy that his channel was helping people, but he was always recommending that people should, talk to someone, talk to a doctor, talk to a therapist, like, get real help, like, don't just rely on my channel. So for me, I thought I had used YouTube as a coping tool for my anxiety or anything like that, especially anxiety when I'm stressed about something and I'm like, oh, I don't want to think about certain things, because obviously, like, I'll get to certain things that I need to get to later, but at times where I don't need to think or worry about those things, but I am anyways, YouTube turns off the I don't want to say, like, it turns off the anxiety, but it helped a lot. It was like a nice distraction. And that's why a lot of people liked the song Piano Man by Billy Joel, is because there's a line saying, he knows that it's me that they're coming to see to forget about life for a while. That song is basically about why people like entertainment. It's because people can forget about their troubles and they can forget about their problems for a little bit. Entertainment is a way to help cope with your problems in your life. Obviously, you still got to deal with those things, but sometimes it's nice to take a break from thinking about those things. And it works for me personally because I know how my brain works. So Daz was such a huge inspiration to me to start my YouTube channel because I wanted to give back to the community. And I wanted to be a positive force on YouTube, or on the internet in general. So I go on TikTok and other Instagram and YouTube and Reddit, like all these different platforms, and I try to leave positive comments. Not everywhere I go, but almost everywhere I go. If I feel like someone needs a compliment, I'm gonna like go and be like, I've done this to people where I said, hey, this is off topic, but your hair is fabulous, and they're just like, oh, well, thanks. But it just, like, it makes me feel good when I leave those compliments, but it's also because I really want to show people how easy it is to be kind on the internet. It is not hard. It's not rocket science. You can easily leave a compliment instead of an insult. It's easy. So I think that's another reason. I just wanted to like be positive on the internet, even if I can't be positive all the time. But I I just want to like just be positive, not toxic positivity, but like giving back to that community and hoping that I can help the way that these other creators have helped me. So like in my story, the next, which also leads to the next category, my favorite guy YouTuber, or dude, or male, or whatever pronoun you want to use. My favorite guy YouTuber is Markiplier. Jacksepticeye decided to give the honorable mention. Because after I started watching Mark, of course YouTube was like, well, if you like Mark, you're gonna like Jack. And they were right. Favorite guy YouTuber is Markiplier. I was also really into his videos, and kind of similar thing. I could see that he really enjoyed doing what he was doing. He wasn't afraid to express how he really felt, especially if he was feeling burned out. He'd be like, I'm burned out, I need a break. And then the fans were all like, yes, take a break. Don't worry about it. We'll be here when you're back, basically. And so, and then I shouldn't have been surprised, but I was surprised whenever I said, like, I need a break. Or I need to, like, change my schedule, or I need to do something else, or whatever. And then I have people in the comments saying things like, oh, that's fine. Take a break if you need to. Like, we'll be here. I'm like, okay, well, I guess that's just normal on YouTube. Because, true fans, they do care. They do care, and they want you to be happy, and they want you to take care of yourself, so. And I would get that from Mark. And he was also just, I'm sure most of my subscribers, if not all, because there's like 340 of you? Hang on. Let me fact check myself, if my phone will cooperate. But what I'm trying to say is, I'm pretty sure most of you, if not all of you, know who Markiplier is. 460. Go us, guys. Go us. That's awesome. So yeah, Markiplier. Favorite guy YouTuber, Jacksepticeye, honorable mention. And like I said before, I was really excited for him to hear about his autism diagnosis. I did hear like some people were mean about it, but I know those people don't matter, but come on. Like, come on. Why? Like I said before, it is not hard to be nice on the internet. I know it's like, it's easy to be mean, but it's even easier to be nice. So just be nice. Anyways. Man, I wish there was so much more I had prepared to say about Markiplier, because I did watch him a lot. I mean, I still do. Me and my friend. I still watch all these creators that I'm listing. I still watch them. But there is one thing that I almost forgot to mention about Markiplier. And this is kind of like a weird random fact, but it needs to be shared more. So for those of you who don't know, I had an old cat. His name was Topaz. He was like a gray tabby mixed with something else. I'm not 100% sure what kind of cat he was. But he had a lot of like tabby features, so we think he was a gray tabby, at least for the most part. We had him around for about 15 to 17 years. So he was an old man by the time I was getting into YouTube and stuff. And I don't know if I'm supposed to be admitting this on YouTube, but Red Note loves him. Like, Red Note loves him, even though I made it clear. He passed away in 2021, but Red Note is like, oh my gosh, he is an angel, literally. And I'm like, I know. But yeah, he was a grouchy old man. But the thing is, and I had to, like, double take this a few times. Like, wait a second. What are you doing? But anytime I had Markiplier playing, my cat, Topaz, he loved cuddling. He loved laying on my bed and just being in my space and just being near me. And I actually loved it too. Like, I didn't mind having him around. He was also a really good tool for my anxiety. Like, if I was having an anxiety attack, he'd like lie on my chest and like stare at me right in the face. Like, you know what'll make you feel better? If you pay attention to me, because clearly I'm more important and I'm handsome. Like, that was my cat. So so I'd probably be like playing video games or doing homework, and I'd be sitting on my bed doing all this stuff, and then I'd be watching Markiplier. Topaz would be asleep, but whenever Markiplier was on, Topaz would like stare at the screen, like actually stare at the screen. And at first I thought I was just like making it up in my mind, like it looks like he's looking at the screen. That's funny. And it was specifically when it was a 3 Scary Games video. Whenever Mark was playing the 3 Scary Games, Topaz, dead on stare, right at the screen, right at Mark. He would just look at Mark. And I'm like, am I seeing this? Or am I just being silly? So like, I would lean over and I'd be like, Topaz, are you watching Mark? And he's sitting there like, like actually watching Markiplier. I'm like, Topaz, you like Markiplier? I mean, I have nothing against it. I just like, I didn't know cats had taste. I didn't know that. So I just thought it was really funny. So funny thing about Mark. So, and I also talked about Jack as the honorable mention. So now we're moving to the next category. I don't want to talk too much, even though like it's my channel and I can talk as much as I want, but I just got to make sure like the ADHD doesn't kick in. I don't have ADHD, but I know I have some of the symptoms, but not enough to like get the diagnosis. She was like, my doctor was like, you're autistic. That's all you need to know. I was like, okay, cool. But anyways, it happened again. ADHD. So the next person in the category favorite girl YouTuber is Lauren Z-Side. With the honorable mention being AFMAO. So, Lauren Z-Side, the first video I saw was her, like, doing makeup on a Sims cat, and it was sent to me by a good friend of mine, and she was like, you need to watch this, because I had just got The Sims, and I started getting into The Sims more, the Sims 4 game. It was on sale at the time, even though base game is free now, but at the time that I got it, it was on sale, and I got it for, like, $7, and it was great. Best $7 spent. Actually, second best. The shorts I'm wearing now were $7. But that's not important. What's important is Lauren. So, yeah, it's been really fun to keep up with Lauren Z-Side. I watched a lot of her Sims videos and really enjoyed them. And I was really excited for her announcing her pregnancy, and she just had another baby, so like congratulations on that. She's got 2 little baby girls now. And the sad news was her dog Dexter passed away, so on the very small chance that Lauren is watching this, my heart goes out to you. Give you my condolences. Like I said, my old cat, Topaz, my old man, he passed away in 2021. We also had to put him down. He was very lucky though, because like his last year was during the panoramic. I don't know if I'm supposed to say the C-19 word, otherwise I'll get demonetized, even though I don't think YouTube wants to monetize me anyways. But yeah, Dexter had also passed away, so that was really heartbreaking to hear about that. But you know, he was definitely an icon for Lauren's channel. He seemed like a good boy. But yeah, I also got a lot of video ideas from Lauren. I did the Sims Live as My Sim for 24 Hours challenge. Even though I didn't really have the editing skills, I just did it as a 2-parter, and I was like, you know what, I'm doing this for fun. And I'm doing it because I want to see what my sim does, and I predicted as such she was not doing anything. So, yeah, but it was still fun to do. I think I failed the challenge technically because I could not stay up past 2 a.m. I was on a very weird schedule at the time, where staying up really late just was not an option. So yeah, favorite girl YouTuber. And Afmao is an honorable mention because she and Lauren Zesai did a collab at one point for the Granny Simulator. And that video had me in hysterics, like laughing so much. And I've had my nieces and nephews watch Afmao and Lauren and also that specific collab. And it's just so fun to like watch it and like experience that laughter again, because like my nieces and nephews will laugh at the things that happen in those videos. So I've always liked that. And my niece, my youngest niece, she's 6 years old, and she we were talking about YouTubers, and I was like, oh yeah, I really like Afmao. And this girl looks at me and she's like, how do you know about Afmao? I was like, Beth, Afmao's been around for like almost over 10 years. I was like, girl, the channel is older than you. Of course I know about Afmao, and I'm chronically online. Of course I know who it is, and of course I enjoy her videos. And another funny thing, she started a Roblox channel, and it was originally called Lady Shuki, and she changed it to Afmao Shuki, thankfully, because her videos started popping up, because YouTube is thinking, oh, if you like Afmao, you'll like Lady Shuki. But in my mind, I was like, who is this person? They're trying to rip off Afmao. I didn't realize it was her. Because I would see the thumbnails, and it was like her and other characters, especially Ian, as like the Roblox characters. That's how the artist, that's how the artist of the thumbnails were depicting them. So I was like, someone's stealing Afmao's channel. And I was like, what? And then finally, like, I guess like I had it on like autoplay, and then like Afmao Shuki popped up, and then I was like, wait, it's Afmao? And I just felt so silly, because I just like, it's still Afmao. And I looked at her main channel, and she has links to other channels, and Afmao Shuki, there it is. And I was like, I'm so dumb. And that's just how I felt. So there you go. There's my favorite girl YouTubers. I guess there's two, but it's Lauren Zesai for sure. And then Afmao as an honorable mention. So then we get to the next one, my favorite duo. And I really hope my friend Sci-Fi is watching this, because she's going to be like, yes, yes! My favorite duo is the Game Grumps. I really wanted to mention them because they've also just, I think they both have really inspiring stories to just fight for your dreams and just to keep going. And a job I was working at recently that was not a good job, hence the reason I wanted to talk about my Mormonism. But again, that's a whole other can of worms, whole other video. But yeah, I was working at this job that was really not good for me. And then what helped me get through was listening to Game Grumps compilations. And I love the videos where they react to their stuff. And I really hope that they do a reaction to their, to any, like, game glitches. I don't know why, but game glitches are so funny to me because of how people react. They're like, oh, what is happening? The world's breaking! It's because I totally get it. Like, when your game glitches, you're just like, And that's why Doki Doki was so successful, because he knew, Dan Salvato knew how to scare people with with the glitches. Like, he knew what he was doing. Speaking of Dan Salvato, Dan's reaction to Doki Doki is hilarious, especially like the DLC, where the DLC is a lot more wholesome, but you know, they still touch up on Sayori's character and what she struggles with, and Dan got a little worried, so he just goes, Dan Salvato. So he sounds like a dad sometimes. But yeah, the Game Grumps, and of course their other channel, The Grumps, and watching them like argue. And Also, like, all their memes and all their jokes, because of the compilations, I was able to catch up. I was able to play catch up on that. I was able to understand, like, certain things, like, oh, and then I just also started watching, like, old videos that they had, so I could get the context of the memes. So, like, the whole, like, my Kruba, or the Obama impression. I've done that one for a while, but I had trouble understanding where my Kruba came from. Because, like, when I was working, I wasn't really watching, I was just listening, so I'm hearing them repeat my Kruba over and over again, and I'm like, I need to, like, watch this later. What is going on? Also, the Palpatine joke, where it's like, or no, it's not Palpatine. Although they did a Palpatine joke where it was like, do it, or like, I broke my pencil, glue it, like those jokes. But also, I was thinking of the Zelda jokes where it was like, now you must die, and like, sometimes like I'll make up my own things too, like, because they would be like, they just kept up with the whole like, you must die, you must die, you must die over and over again. And for me, I'm just like, welcome to my home, have some pie. Like, that was my joke. The same with what was it, Crash Man and Something Man? Bash Man and Crash Man, maybe? I don't know. But like, I would just like, if I ever like got bored and I was like, I need to think about something, Bash Man, Crash Man, Dash Man, Flash Man, like, I would just go down a list of like the alphabet and just think about all the different men that that would hang out with whoever would hang out with Ashman and Cashman and all those other men. So yeah, that was my experience. But I have to say, my favorite jokes. Oh man, actually, I have a few. I loved the Laura Schmidt. That's her name. Where she's like, I don't have 3 toes. Like, sometimes I think about that line often. But it's just like, I'm already laughing about it. But yeah, just like, that whole bit that they did, that whole sitcom that Aaron just burst into existence, Laura Schmidt, and the animations are fun to watch. But my other favorite bit is the Spinnakers bit. I don't know why this cracked me up so much. Probably because they like started their own world building by accident, but they were like, Spinnakers, that sounds like a word, or a slur or something. And they're just like, I've had it up to here with those Spinnakers. And they wear their little hats. How come they can fly? Why do they make such good waffles? And so that became my favorite bit, and I was like, I remember seeing like the 10th anniversary video, and I think his name's Sneesnag. Someone please correct me if I'm wrong. I don't remember his YouTube name, but he calls his followers freaks, because I think his favorite thing from Game Grumps was when he started yelling at Bowser, and he's like, why do you keep jumping all the time? You fucking freak! You're a freak! Just like, it made me laugh, so I can't say that I blame him, because it is a funny bit where he just yells, you're a freak! As if he's like dealt with it his whole life. He's like yelling at his therapist, he's such a freak, he keeps jumping all the time. So I always thought, well, if I were going to give my audience a name that was based off of the Game Grumps, I would love to call them Spinnakers. Or brownies, whatever you guys want to be called, let me know. But like, I was like, it's gotta be either Spinnakers or brownies. Something that sounds like it's delicious to eat. Or I don't know. So there you go. That's the Game Grumps. That's my favorite duo. Really weird change of gears now that I'm moving on to the next category. Even after I just dropped the F-bomb. It's my favorite YouTubers. So for those who don't know, there is a community. It's kind of quieted down, I think. I don't want to say it's dead, because I'm in denial, maybe. But there's a community for American Girl doll fans on YouTube, and they call the creators AGTubers. And before I started my channel, I really wanted to do a mashup of like me just doing the games and having fun with that and other fun stuff like that. Meanwhile, occasionally releasing a doll video, because that is kind of also the catalyst of what people thought as far as my autism went, is because I like collecting American Girl dolls. I have 13. Guys, I have a problem. I have a problem. But yeah, I really like American Girl. It's one of my special interests. When I started talking about me potentially having autism, there was one friend in particular who was like, so why do people think you're autistic? Like, what started that? I was like, well, the number one thing that people kept mentioning, people close to me in my life, they were like, some people think that it's weird for me to have the dolls or collect the dolls. It was okay for me to like American Girl doll, but you're collecting too much. That's weird. You still dress them and brush their hair and you like hold them and stuff too. It's like, that's weird. And I'm like, am I weird? Turns out I'm not weird. I'm just autistic. But that was like the catalyst for that. And then a friend, this good friend of mine, I didn't ask them if I could call them out, so. But they're also a creator on YouTube. And they were like, well, first of all, it's not weird. And second of all, sounds like it's just your special interest. And I didn't know anything about like the language of autism that we have. Like we have stims, we have stigmas, we have meltdowns, shutdowns, burnout, special interests. So that's when I learned that American Girl doll was my special interest. And it is important to me. It's an important part of my life. So I decided to include my favorite AGTuber, and that is Mixie Pixie 7. She doesn't upload videos anymore because she's probably graduated college actually at this point. But she was going to college. Her family was moving. It was just, I think it was just too much to like try to get the dolls on one place for the move and then get a new house set up and also focusing on college and stuff like that. I think it was because like there was a school that her brother wanted to go to. I don't remember all the details, but yeah, she doesn't make videos anymore, but she left her channel up because she knows that it's important to the community and she wants people to be able to enjoy her channel. And I'm really glad she did, because I really enjoyed her channel, and she's the reason I started my own AGTube channel. I just call it the doll channel. It's called the Gillards, I think, or the Gillard dolls. But yeah, they're the Gillards. Basically, it's this little family I made up, and it was like just the silly thing of like, oh, this is what I would name my kids if I ever had kids. Keep in mind, I came up with these names when I was a teenager, so, because nowadays, I don't know if I could ever have kids. That, again, a whole other can of worms, but, it was like, if I ever named my kids, it would be these names, and so, I had 8 names. So, that's kind of how this story developed, was because I don't know, that's how I came up with these characters, and then I wanted them as dolls. So that's kind of where it started. So basically, my channel, my doll channel is about a family of dolls, like these siblings that get up to trouble, mainly because of one character named Jordan. He's the prankster, he's the one who wants to be a YouTuber, probably not going the right way about it, but he has dreams. But it's because Mixie Pixie 7 basically had a similar premise where all the dolls considered each other. They were like self-aware dolls, though. They're like, oh yeah, we're all dolls, and this is how our lives go. This is how we function. And I just thought, and they considered each other siblings, and so it's just really cute and fun to watch. And I was like, man, that looks like fun. Again, when I see something that looks like fun, I'm always like, I want to try that. I want to try that. I want to do that. So yeah, that's what I do. But I'm pretty sure she has more focus on this other channel, Micah Kate. I believe that's the channel name. And I've seen a lot of really like cool stuff that she's done there too. She's a young adult. She's growing up. But everyone has to grow up, so. Okay, last category. We're almost done, guys. If you made it this far, good for you. I don't know what to tell you. Oh, if you made it this far, make sure you take a swig of your chocolate milk. Probably not a good idea for me to drink dairy while I'm... Technically, it's lactose free, but still probably not a good idea to drink while making videos. Anyways, last but not least, category, my favorite group on YouTube. And that is Recreo. So Recreo is... Oh, my leg is asleep. Recreo is a channel that I definitely was there kind of from day one, because I subscribe to Cypher Den, who is an animator, very talented animator on YouTube. But she and a group of her friends started another channel called Recreo, and basically it was, if you've ever seen channels like I think it's called Dan Plan or Crystal and David, they would make these scenarios that they had to go through. Hang on, I'm adjusting. This leg fell asleep. Ugh. It got bored of me just talking about whatever and fell asleep. But yeah, Recreo, I wouldn't say it's like a roleplay channel, but they would come up with like different scenarios. They choose someone to be the host for the week and come up with like really funny ideas, scenarios that they would put them in. And even Jenna Ortega said in an interview that like people said, what do you do to relax? I think that was the question. And she said, I sit down and watch YouTube, and I don't remember if they asked her directly like, who's your favorite YouTuber, but she said in an interview that her favorite YouTube channel was watching Recreo. So a lot of people were like, that's amazing. But yeah, they would do like these funny scenarios, and whenever I introduce friends to this particular channel, I'm like, the very first video you have to watch, because it's the same situation as Mixie Pixie 7. They don't make videos anymore, but they left their channel up because, again, they know it's important to the community. They know people like to watch and rewatch their videos. So, but yeah, I always start people off with like an earlier video, not the very first video, which is the zombie video, which is what I saw on Den's channel. And after I watched that on Den's channel, Recreo started appearing more and more on my algorithm. And I was like, oh, okay, this is great. This is fun. And so I started watching their videos religiously. I loved them. They were so funny. They were so entertaining. Simple animation, but it made me feel motivated to get more and more into animation. I had a lot of sources that kind of like pushed me towards studying animation, which is why I'm back in school now, which is why I'm in my parents' basement, because I went back to school. Yeah, so that's just how that happened. The zombie apocalypse one is their first video, but I keep meaning to say this. I'm sorry, I'm talking in circles and getting off track. Again, ADHD symptoms. So I guess I can just say, I think it's safe to say it's the autism, right? Because like sometimes they have the same symptoms. But yeah, the first video I recommend to people is always the Jurassic Park video, because I feel like that's the video that establishes a lot of the lore, because they make a lot of callbacks to that specific video throughout like each video, because then you'll see like the Rick and Morty episode, they bring back the fact that Chili has a raptor arm, and I'm trying to think of like other episodes. Yeah, the Gundam, the giant Gundam. That episode is hilarious for multiple reasons, but it brings back the fact that like Christian is in love with Barney, and and oh, what else? Again, Chili with the raptor arm, and he wants revenge on Ivan because he gentrified his home and or whatever, like. They were really good at making those callbacks to be like, oh, that's right, Chili has a raptor arm, let's use that. So I loved that they had their own little like universe that they created. And Kurt, it's really hard to say who my favorite was in that on that channel, because Christian and Den, definitely hilarious. But Kurt was such a good host. Like, he was really good at the immersion. He was really good at, like, the presentation. Very, very good entertainer, in my humble opinion. But, there was something that I think they were very successful because all 5 of them, it would start with the 4 of them, and then it was 5 of them. They all brought something to the table. And it was really sad when Chili had to leave the channel. Like, I was really sad about that. But then, they ended up getting Christine on the channel, and I was really happy to learn about her because I think she's really cool, and I follow her on TikTok, of course. And she's also, I think she's Canadian, and I might be a little biased because I'm half Canadian. But yeah, like, she also brought something to the table that was Recreo. Like, she was able to fill in that void. She didn't like replace Chili, but she was able to fill in that void that was there for the short time that she was on the channel. And then they ended up stopping, not like shutting down or deleting or anything, but they had to stop making videos because Christian and Cypher Den, well, wait, Christian is also Frugal Aesthetic, but Cypher Den, they both got these opportunities. They didn't go into details, and I'm not always the one who like digs into like, whoa, what companies are they working for? What are they doing now? Like, blah, 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 blah. Obviously for Cypher Den, she probably got a really good opportunity with an animation project. That's my guess. With Christian, I have no idea. I know he likes fashion as a hobby, so maybe something good came from that. He also does audio for a living, so maybe again some kind of creative project that they need someone who is good at audio to do the audio project. Either way, it both impacted their schedules, and they both had to say, like, I don't think I can do this and Recreo at the same time. And that's when they decided to stop the channels. I think Kurt is also just really smart as a business person, because he was the one doing, like, all the merch stuff. Like, hey guys, we got merch. We got a Patreon. Like, he was just really good at he's good at what he does. So I think he thought, like, okay, you guys are, like, a lot of people's favorites. So they decided, as a group, let's stop making videos. Again, thankfully, channel's still there. I often will go back and watch, especially if I need a good laugh. So, yeah, and I think that's all I wanted to say. It was a lot to say, but, yeah, I'll just say, like, those are my favorite YouTube channels. And I want to thank each and every one of them for inspiring me to be a good creator. I don't consider myself a good creator, but thanks for inspiring me to just keep going and just to have fun with my channel, and inspiring me to just push forward, follow my dreams, and make this platform and make this world a better place, because we all need entertainment in some way. Like, some people like to watch true crime, some people like to listen to music, and in my case, I like to watch YouTube videos of people playing video games. And recently I watched Mark and Ethan reunite and play I think it's called Repo, R-E-P-O, and that one made me laugh quite a bit. And a video that came out for the Game Grumps today, again, I love watching them react to themselves, and that one had me in hysterics as well. So yeah, entertainment. It's always been a big part of my life too, because I grew up kind of in a theater, more like watching from the sidelines of theater. But my dad is a light designer and a technical director, so we've seen a lot of plays. We also, my whole family, we love to go see movies. We saw last time we all went to a movie together. It was Moana 2, I think, which was hilarious, more because of the reactions of my nieces and nephews. But me and my sister have a similar age gap as Moana and Samea, I think her name is Samea. We have a similar age gap, so we walked out of the theater yelling, "Big sis, little sis," because I'm the little sister. So I saw her and I was like, "Big sis." I think she'd get mad if I said little sis. She'd be like, "Excuse me, I'm the big sis." Okay. But yeah, it's just always been a huge part of my life, and I think that's why, like, I've always been interested in entertaining as well. I just never knew how to go about it, and I think YouTube has been a really good platform for me to be able to do that. And hopefully animation will be another way for me to do that. I started doing, like, goofy little sketches on TikTok for, like, various fandoms that I'm in. They're just goofy, cringy jokes that I'm making because of the sounds. And I was finally able to start a second TikTok because, again, I wanted to do it for the dolls, because the dolls have their own YouTube channel, and they have their own YouTube channel, they have their own Instagram, and now they have their own TikTok, so I'm really excited about that. So yeah, I might just hashtag these creators. I don't know if I should tag them, but maybe I should, because, like, I want to give them credit. The reason I'm hesitant is because, like, all these creators, they're bigger than me. They're cooler than me. I just really like them. And some of them aren't really active anymore, like Recreo. Oh yeah, and everyone give a, what's the phrase? Give an F in the chat. No, put R.I.P. RIP for Unisanis, because I kept up with that channel almost every day. I'm not gonna brag that it was every day, because, like, I'd be lying, and I can't lie. I'm autistic. But almost every day I was keeping up with those videos, and I watched the last video with Topaz. Topaz was there. He was like, he fell asleep, but I was watching Unisanis playing Minecraft that day, because I wanted to be there when they deleted the channel. Again, R.I.P. Unisanis. Pay your respects in the comments. But yeah, but if you actually did enjoy this video, let me know in the comments, or leave a like. Subscribe if you're new. And let's keep growing this channel together. How many did we have? 460? Guys, that's insane! I'm shocked, actually. Because, like, I was in the 300s for, like, forever. And now we're at 460 all of a sudden? Let's keep it up. Just thank you guys, each and every one of you. Thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. And until the next video, see ya.